Minister, good afternoon and thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon and thank you very much for your invitation.
Well, let's get straight into access to finance, Minister. The Small Enterprise Finance Agency, Sefa, has now migrated to your department, but it has been viewed by many as just giving pocket loans rather than business development loans. The interest intermediaries, as you say, the interest charged by those intermediaries is also very high. So there we have the scenario now with regards to access. How do we change it?
Well, we have to change that by ensuring that we go deeper into the reports of Sefa and make an analysis of their impact. We've already said that's what we will do. But secondly, we also want to make sure that both Sefa and SEDA are integrated into one so that the resources that are available at least are channeled to small and medium enterprises. And the issue that was raised by the chairperson in terms of intermediaries is a problem and is a challenge for us, because at the end of the day, if we have a budget and you've got that budget that has to go through and pay intermediaries instead of going straight to supporting small and medium enterprises is a problem. But however, at the same time, it's important for us to make sure that SEFA should have the necessary administrative and management processes, because at the end of the day, if they cannot be able to handle the amounts of money that are being channeled through to SEFA, we need to find better ways and means of doing that. Of course, we're not going to do that on our own. We are going to be engaging SEFA, both the board of SEFA as well as the corporate management of SEFA, to see how best can we improve from what has been happening in the past, from the time that SEFA was started. I don't want to say that they haven't done anything at all, because that wouldn't be true. Because if you look at the figures of how much they've managed to process in supporting small businesses, it's quite a large amount of money.
You couple that problem up with this red tape and regulation issue, Minister, and the red tape often described as a hidden tax that kills jobs and suffocates businesses. Now, when can we start seeing convincing moves to an easy environment where businesses can simply do what they should be doing, creating jobs?
Well, we have already launched in some of the provinces the red tape reduction, and one of the things that we thought would be important to do is to hold workshops which explains exactly to local government structures, because red tape reduction is not only about what happens at national level, it's also what happens at provincial and local level, and that's where the delivery is actually. So we believe that if we connect and coordinate and work very closely with local economic development structures, we can be able to address this challenge. And also we're thinking that the turnaround time for processes of registration and everything else, we need to try and see if we can develop one-stop shops where people can always be able to go to one place instead of going to too many places for services.
One solution, Minister, as you put it earlier, to some of these problems is to get a better integration on the various departments, yourself, DTI, Treasury. You mentioned earlier in the week that there simply isn't a good enough integration. How do we sort that problem out?
Well, from the point of where I sit in cabinet, as well as the MINMAC, which brings together the ministers, the premiers, and the MECs for local economic development, I think that's where we need to start, by making sure that there is a common understanding that if we have resources sitting at all these levels and not being properly coordinated, you find that there's a duplication of the work that we need to do in supporting small and medium enterprises. The structures that already exist in government are good enough for us to start there.
So we've seen the announcement around e-toll tariffs yesterday, Minister, and many small businesses are on the road. They have their goods and services on the road. Yesterday's announcements wouldn't have brought any relief to them. Would you agree?
Well, I think that our responsibility is to improve the roads, because even for small and medium enterprises, they also want to make sure that they have good roads. They want to make sure that at the end of the day, the process and the time it takes for them to transport their goods and services, we have to make sure that we've got good roads. And I think they also contributed towards the discussions and debates about this. And we feel, as a Department of Small and Medium Enterprises, yes, we can hear the outcry, but at the end of the day, it would be better for South Africa to have very good roads.
Well, thanks very much indeed. Small Business Minister Lindiwe Zulu, thanks indeed for your time.
My pleasure.
Well, we'll take a look at more business news after the break. Do stay with us.